improving audit precision. So inherent risk factors such as subjectivity and complexity, uncertainty and change, and fraud susceptibility. So help identify material misstatement risk. So the introduction of spectrum risk, the introduction of spectrum of inherent risk and label vector risk classification will enhance risk assessment procedure, strengthen fraud detection, and financial reporting reliability. The second point is the greater emphasis on understanding the entity and internal control. So in this point, the standard mandates a deeper understanding of entity business, industry, and financial framework. It highlights key elements, which is the control environment, risk assessment, information and communication, and monitoring, and the control activity. So the third one point is the enhanced professional decision. So auditors are required to challenge management assertion, seek contradictory evidence, and independently verify financial data. So greater specialization in revenue recognition, asset evaluation, and IT security reduce fraud detection and strengthen audit predictability. So the last one point is the greater focus on IT automated system. So we'll increase relying on automated system. Auditor must assess IT risk, including system access and data security, also the sector security threat. So evaluating IT control enhance financial reporting integrity and protect against fraud and operational exclusion. So the next we will talk about the ISS 600 and its benefits. So in this slide we will see the first point is the enhanced GDP responsibility. So ISS 600 strengthen the group engagement partner role in quality management. The GDP must guide, supervise, and review the component audit work to ensure audit consistency across justification. So while this enhanced reliability, it increased supervision time and documentation requirement and audit costs. So the next one we will talk about the aggregate risk. So the standard emphasizes a risk-based appropriate, particularly aggregation risk. So we undetected misstatement in component may lead to material misstatement at a good level. So the improved audit efficiency but require high professional judgment, adding complexity to multinational group audit. So the last one we talk about the communication. So stronger communication between group and component auditor is required, including clear guideline and continuing collaboration, and the last one is information sharing. This ensuring coordination and reduce the inconsistency but may be time consuming and challenging due to the regulatory difference and audit the methodology and language barriers. So that's all for my part. Now I will pass my presentation to Angie.
So now let me introduce the integrated reporting. So integrated reporting is a modern corporate reporting framework that integrates financial and non-financial information. So including environmental, social, and governance factors. So developed by the International Integrated Reporting Council, IR enhance transparency, accountability, and long-term strategic thinking. So, and the IRRC identifies these categories of capital which help an organization to create value, including financial, manufacturing, intellectual, human, social, and natural. So by integrating these capitals, I encourage organizations to focus on sustainable development and stakeholder engagement, addressing the growing demand for responsible corporate practices. And the next is the IR adoption in Malaysia. So Malaysia has seen steady growth in IR adoption, particularly among publicly listed companies. As of 2021, over 100 companies has adopted IR, demonstrating Malaysia's leadership in Asia Pacific. The Malaysia Securities Commission has launched an IR exchange index showing stronger commitments to sustainability reporting. So despite the positive developments, and there are several challenges in the IR adoption in Malaysia. For example, first is the lack of regulatory mandate. Unlike some countries, Malaysia does not enforce IR adoption, leading to inconsistent practices. And the next is the organizational capabilities. Like many firms lack expertise and resources to implement IR effectively. The third is technological limitation, like SME struggle with data collection and digital infrastructure for IR reporting. And there is also low stakeholder awareness, like some stakeholders, including customers and suppliers, are aware of IR benefits, so they're reducing the demand. The last is standardization issues. There is no unified IR guidelines result in very reporting quality, so making comparison difficult. And the next is the IR adoption in other Asian countries. In Singapore, the Singapore Exchange mandates sustainability reporting for listed companies, aligning with the global framework like the Global Reporting Initiative and integrated reporting. So Singapore's participation in the International Integrated Reporting Council's pilot program provided early exposure to IR practices. So both Malaysia and Singapore companies have incorporated IR elements into their annual reports, but their focus varies. So Singapore regulatory environment and corporate governance frameworks are more conducive to IR implementation. And the next country is the Vietnam. So Vietnam, on the other hand, is in the early stages of IR adoption. So research shows that Vietnamese listed firms only disclose 43% of required information for IRRC framework, so indicating early adoption of integrated reporting. And factors such as manufacturing, industry presence, board independence, foreign ownership, audit quality, and firm size positively influence IR disclosure levels. Then the study provides insight into challenges faced by Vietnamese companies and offers recommendation for policymakers to promote IR adoption through regulatory support and capacity building. So overall, a comparison of Malaysia, Singapore, and Vietnam highlights regulatory differences and market mature levels. So Singapore's structures approach with mandatory sustainability reporting has driven higher IR adoption, and Malaysia's progress remains industry-driven, leading to uneven adoption. And Vietnam lags due to low awareness and weaker regulations, so top foreign ownership and governance structures are slowly improving disclosure levels. So in conclusion, Malaysia has made progress in IR adoption with support from regulators, corporate governance, and investors. So compared to other Asian countries, Malaysia is ahead of emerging markets like Vietnam, but behind Singapore in regulatory enforcement and